Rural families produced goods for international markets, supplementing their shrinking farming incomes. This system created a close relationship between towns and villages, with merchants controlling hundreds of workers. The proto-industrial era set the foundation for the later factory boom, showing that industrialization was a gradual process, not an overnight change. It also highlights how family labor and rural skills played a crucial role in early industrial growth. Late 18th century saw the rise of factories, especially in Britain. Cotton production soared as new inventions increased efficiency at every step: carding, spinning, and weaving. Richard Arkwright's cotton mill brought all processes under one roof, making supervision and quality control easier. Factories became a prominent part of the English landscape, and the power of technology dazzled the public. However, even as factories grew, much production still happened in small workshops and homes. The transition from hand labor to machine-driven factories was slow and uneven, but it marked a turning point in how goods were made and how people worked. Victorian Britain, there was no shortage of human labor. Many poor peasants and vagrants moved to cities in search of work, often facing low wages and harsh conditions. Industrialists sometimes preferred hand labor over machines, especially for products requiring intricate designs or seasonal work. Handmade goods symbolized refinement and class, while machine-made items were often exported to colonies. The abundance of labor meant that machines were not always adopted quickly. This scene highlights the tension between tradition and innovation, and how social realities influence the pace of technological change. Workers, industrialization brought both hope and hardship. Many flocked to cities, relying on social connections to find jobs. Work was often seasonal, and unemployment was a constant threat. Wages varied, and periods of economic slump could leave many destitute. The introduction of machines like the spinning jenny sparked resistance, especially among women who lost their spinning jobs. Workers feared unemployment and sometimes attacked new technology. Over time, building projects and urban growth created more jobs, but life remained tough for many. This scene reminds us that industrial progress often came at a human cost. Industrialization in India followed a unique path, shaped by colonial rule. Before machine industries, Indian textiles dominated global markets. However, as European companies gained power, traditional trade networks declined. The East India Company imposed strict controls, appointing gamathas to supervise weavers and forcing them to accept low prices. Indian weavers faced competition from cheap Manchester imports, and many lost their livelihoods. The rise of Indian factories in the late 19th century brought new opportunities, but also new challenges. Industrialization in India was marked by both resilience and struggle, as local entrepreneurs and workers navigated a changing world. Indian industrialization was driven by diverse entrepreneurs: Parsis, Marwaris, Bengalis, many of whom made fortunes in trade before investing in industry. Factories needed workers, who often migrated from nearby villages or even distant regions. Getting a job was tough, and entry was often controlled by jobbers who demanded favors. Factory work was hard, with long hours and health risks. Despite these challenges, the number of factory workers grew, and new communities formed in industrial cities. This scene highlights the human stories behind industrial growth, the ambitions of entrepreneurs, and the resilience of workers. Even as large factories grew, small-scale industries and handicrafts remained vital in India. Many artisans adopted new technologies, like the fly shuttle, to improve productivity. Certain weavers specialized in fine cloths that mills couldn't easily replicate, ensuring their survival. Handloom production expanded in the 20th century, showing that tradition and innovation could coexist. However, life for artisans was still hard, with long hours and little reward. This scene demonstrates that industrialization was not just about big factories. It was also about adaptation, creativity, and the enduring spirit of small producers. New products flooding the market, manufacturers needed to persuade people to buy. Advertisements became a powerful tool, using labels, images of gods, and calendars to make products desirable. British and Indian manufacturers alike used marketing to shape consumer culture and promote their goods. Advertisements not only sold products, but also spread messages about modernity, tradition, and even nationalism. This scene shows how industrialization changed not just how things were made, but also how people thought about what to buy and why. The age of industrialization brought profound changes to society, economy, and culture. It introduced new technologies, transformed work, and created new social classes. Yet, hand technology and small-scale production remained important, showing that progress is complex and multifaceted. The story of industrialization is not just about machines and factories, it's about people, their struggles, and their dreams. As we look back, we see how this era laid the foundation for the modern world, shaping the way we live, work, and imagine the future.